Welcome to Priceless Takes.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 19 of Priceless Takes, talking sports with Luka Price. I'm your host, Luka Price. Once again, Oscar Hardcastle, Tyson McMullen joining me for today's show. Some more NBA talk coming, and we have a big night ahead. But also, in between the last episode we did on the weekend, we have had some major news all across the league. But Tyson, Oscar, how are you guys doing today?
Very well.
Couldn't be better.
Very well.
Could not be better.
I see you have a Bulls jersey on there. I think that is a bit of a statement. Maybe some shots coming to one LeBron.
Just to remind
James.
people.
Just to remind people, look,
who the GOAT is.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. We do have a lot of talking points today. LeBron, Kyrie, Durant, and other aspects of the trade deadline. But we will get straight into it. In only a matter of hours, LeBron will attempt to break the all-time scoring record for the NBA. They versus Oklahoma City in LA tonight. LeBron needs 36 points. They have the game tonight. They also have Thursday night against the Milwaukee Bucks, the team that Kareem played for. Look, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of aspects today. The highest paid seat tonight confirmed was $70,000 for this game. There was tickets that started...
Is that American?
Yeah, 70,000 American.
Ooh.
So there was tickets that started off at 100K, then there were reports of 90, but it was reported that the highest confirmed price was 70,000. So I hope for this person's sake, or multiple people's sake, because I'm sure there would have been a lot of people who spent in that ballpark of money, that he thinks he will break it tonight. Look, it would have to be a pretty monstrous performance. He only had a quiet scoring night the other night. He scored under 30 points at the Pelicans. It's his first meeting this year against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and his track record against the Thunder in terms of scoring has been interesting to watch. But Tyson, as the mad Lakers fan, I will ask you first, which game do you think that LeBron will break this record? Do you think it'll be tonight, or do you think it'll be Thursday against Milwaukee?
It will be Thursday. It will be Thursday. He's teasing you guys. He's dressing up all nice, all for you to think that he's gonna do it in the hometown of LA. But in reality, he's going to the Bucks. He's scoring maybe 34 tonight, and then first points of the game against the Bucks, skyhook over the top from the three, probably at least
From the three
in his face. Depends how he's feeling, but no, I reckon the Bucks for sure.
The Bucks, Oscar, you think tonight or on Thursday?
I think tonight. I think he shows up in big games. OKC's the 20th defense in the league. You know, in previous years they've been have really good defensive pieces, and this year they don't. So I think he's going to drop. He's going to have a big night tonight. I think he's going to drop 40. He shows up in big games. He loves his personal records, even though he says he doesn't. But he loves his personal records, and he usually performs to what's expected of him in these types of games. So I think it's going to be a good night for LA. Good night for LeBron.
Look, I don't like this sort of topic because it's all just fantasy land, what's going to happen. But look, a couple of things to look at. LeBron has played 34 games all time against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and out of those 34, he scored 36 plus 4 times. Okay, the last time he scored 36 plus was in 2018, and that was when he was playing for the Cavs against the Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony Thunder.
Brilliant defensive team.
He averages 28 points per game on 50% field goal shooting. But last meeting against the Thunder in 2021, he had 33 points. So I'd say that 2021 team is definitely similar to this team he will face tonight rather than that 2018 team. But I hate to tell you, but there is absolutely no chance LeBron breaks this record tonight. And let me tell you why, okay?
Yeah,
there is absolutely zero chance, okay? For one, I think LeBron would almost find it funny that people paid $70,000 to watch him not break the scoring record. Two, a big part about this scoring record is this game is going to be stopped for a long time when this scoring record gets broken. We saw Steph Curry when he broke the three-point record. Everyone was cheering. Reggie Miller and Ray Allen came on the court, and they were all taking photos and dapping each other up and like, yeah, Steph, you're the man. You know, good job, all-time three-pointers. And in order for LeBron to break the record tonight, It is going to be in the fourth quarter, and I do not think in a game where it is close in the fourth quarter they want to stop the game for that long. I think that he's going to score around 30. Tyson is 34. I'm saying around 31, 32 points. Another thing I want to look at is the fact that on Thursday he can break it against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if there's one thing I know about LeBron is he is a student when it comes to basketball history. He loves his basketball history, and I think Tyson was a bit over the top with his skyhook from the three-point line to break the scoring record, but I think that there is a big part of LeBron that wants to break it against the Bucks, Kareem's former team, in a Lakers jersey, the team that Kareem went to after. Oscar, I see you shaking your head. What is your response? I don't know how you could possibly disagree with me.
You can say LeBron loves the history, blah blah blah, but he's going to do it tonight. It's 36 points. LeBron is, he's been a machine this season. And even if they do stop, it's not going to be a close game. It's against the Thunder. They're going to at least be up by 20.
The Thunder blew out the Celtics. The Thunder blew out the Celtics without Shea.
Russell Westbrook's passing the ball to LeBron. He's not touching the ball. He's giving it to LeBron, and he's scoring every single bucket till he gets 36. If they stop the game in the fourth and it's close, who cares? It's 38,000 points. No one's going to care.
LeBron cares because LeBron doesn't want the game to get stopped because that will diminish the amount that it means to him because they can only stop it for a couple of minutes and they don't want to kill the momentum. It would mean way more to him if they would stop it at the start of the game where he can have his time to shine, have a little cry, have a little hug with Kareem. The only way, Oscar, I see a possibility that you are correct is if he hits a walk-off game winner.
That's what I was about to say. Like a game-winning three. A game-winning three for the record.
Skyhook.
No.
If he hits a game winner, because then the game
Skyhook from the three.
Stop it, okay? Only scenario I see it working out that
way. I was about to say that. I was going to say I can see it against the Bucks because
what you're saying is
you break it.
What you're saying is LeBron's scripting it. He's scripting how he's going to play. Okay, so he's going to have 30.
It's a big moment.
If he has 31 by the third quarter, so what? He's just not going to play the fourth?
But he's not going to have 31 by the third quarter.
Oh, he steps up in big games. He's going to have 25-point quarter tonight.
No, LeBron, if he wanted to have 40 points against the Pelicans, I think he would have. But then that would have meant one of two things. Then he would have had to have gotten it against the Thunder, or he would have had to have sat out against the Thunder in order to preserve it for the Bucks. LeBron was smart, and he dropped a cool 25 points against the Pelicans, putting himself 36 is a good number where people expect him to do it, but if he doesn't get it, no one's going to be like, that's ridiculous. Maybe if it was like 12 points to get it and LeBron didn't get it.
This is ridiculous.
But LeBron, I think, is playing it extremely smartly where he can break it at the start of the next game in front of Kareem, with everyone there against the Bucks. I think it's not going to be public, but I think in LeBron's head, he has a certain way of going about it. And if there's one thing we know, LeBron controls the pace of games, okay? He is the master of controlling games. He single-handedly controls games. He dictates how he wants to play, how he wants the game to go in terms of the Lakers' offense and any offense he's played for, quite frankly. So I think if he wants to tonight, he could probably score 60. He could probably score 60 if he really wanted to.
Imagine
if he wanted to.
Best game ever.
If he wanted to, he probably could.
This is why Michael and Kobe are number one and number two, because they want to drop 40 every night. They don't care about these semantics.
Well, Michael and Kobe weren't even in position to break this record, so
it doesn't
you don't
matter.
know that.
They don't care about these semantics. They just want to drop points every single night and win the game. That's all they cared about their whole career. And LeBron, you'd think LeBron's scripting it for the Milwaukee game. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I just don't see it. I think if he's gonna break it, it's gonna be tonight because he's gonna have a massive game because he wants to show these people how dominant he really is. He doesn't want to script it and make it all these stupid little things against Milwaukee. If he doesn't break it tonight, is it at OKC or in LA?
LA.
It's in LA.
It's in LA. Imagine in LA breaking the record with
the next game's in 60, LA too.
Oh, I just don't see it happening. I just see, you got 60,000 people there, however many that stadium holds. I just see they've spent all this money on fireworks and sparklers and all these things. I think it's going to be tonight.
for the next game.
No, for tonight.
Let's save it for the next game.
Element to him,
It's
don't you
gonna
reckon
be-
he has? I think he does.
I don't see it. I think, I don't think it's that scripted. I don't think it's that deep. I think he's going to do it today. He's going to do it as soon as he can.
Listen, you might be right, but I will ask you before we move on to our next topic. Tyson already explained how he wants the moment to happen with his skyhook three-pointer. But Oscar, what is your ideal scenario? Obviously, it's tonight, but do you want to see him in the fourth quarter? Do you want to see a dunk, a three-pointer?
It'd be lovely to see it in the fourth quarter. It'd be lovely to see a game winner. But all I want is a vintage LeBron James tomahawk dunk for his 38 or whatever record-breaking points. A vintage tomahawk dunk. We've seen it all over for years. Oh, that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
Vintage LeBron.
I'm the same. I want to see a big dunk too. Maybe one of those reverse
I
windmills
feel
he
like a
chucked up
skyhook.
last
If
year.
he goes for the skyhook, that is the most.
Well, no, I reckon he will.
disrespectful thing.
He will attempt a skyhook.
There's no
He
way.
will attempt a sky.
No
He
way.
will. He
If he's 2
will.
points away, tonight, and he attempts a skyhook, I'm suing. That is
No.
the most disrespectful.
He's going to do a
thing.
sky hook for the 34th, and then the 36th, and then the 36th he's going to do. He's
Imagine-
I can
Tomahawk.
imagine him
Tomahawk.
doing it. I can imagine him doing it, but that would be the most disrespectful
It would be.
way to win it. Way to overtake him.
He's probably going to win it off like a fadeaway bank shot, I reckon.
But that also
Something.
something
Maybe.
like that would be cool.
Look, I agree with Oscar. I think if he chucks up a skyhook for the win, I think he might as well just go to Kareem and point up his middle fingers at him. I feel like that would honestly have the same effect.
Great.
What if he does that after? What if he does that after? Like hits it and then.
I still think Kareem's tackling him mid-game and
Oh.
breaking an ankle.
Yeah, look, well, something's clearly been done because Kareem was dissing LeBron a fair bit this year, but he's come, now all of a sudden he's turned into Mr. Nice Guy. So I think I think Kareem's a bit envious. I don't really blame him because not many people are going to really remember Kareem as much after this. Like, he's obviously one of the best players of all time, but that's something he really holds his hat to as to why people, especially in this modern day era of players and fans, really remember his legacy.
Kareem, all I'm saying is Kareem doesn't spend $1 million on his body every single year. So
No, he does not. He definitely does not. Look, tip-off is just under 3 hours away, looking at my time right now. So this episode will hopefully be uploaded before then. But regardless, we're going to switch gears. And we were unfortunate not to have our resident Brooklyn Nets fan, Gabe, on the show today because we did want to hear what he had.
Not missing out.
We did want to hear what he had to say, but we will end up giving you our thoughts on the saga surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. But first, we're going to talk about Kyrie Irving to Dallas. Later last week, it was announced that Kyrie requested a trade from Brooklyn. Many were unsure where he was going to go. On the show, we talked about the Bulls, we talked about the Heat, and we talked about the the Suns as three potential teams that could go after him. The Mavericks, we did mention briefly, but didn't really get into it. And later in the week, only the trade was made official today. Kyrie Irving was dealt to the Mavericks, where the Mavericks in this trade received Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris, while the Brooklyn Nets received Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2029 first-round pick, and a 2027 and 2029 first-round pick. Kyrie Irving practiced with Dallas today, expected to make his debut against my Clippers tomorrow, which they will definitely not win. Guys, who won this trade? Oscar, I'm gonna ask you first. What are your immediate reactions from this trade?
When I saw that happen, I said the Nets got fleeced. The Nets got absolutely just fleeced for everything. Because if they don't get another good player in the off season, KD's leaving. It's going to be like the Paul Pierce KG thing back in the day. I just don't think they've. I think Kyrie did them bad. Kyrie did that Nets team bad. So hopefully he does well on the Mavericks. Hopefully he stays on the Mavericks because
Well, that's the big thing, isn't it? If Kyrie does just decide to leave and jump ship after half a season, I don't think the Nets will have gotten fleeced at all. I think they'll be very happy with the trade, to be honest.
I just see it as it's like they were a championship team and now they're not. That's how I see it.
Well, look, the trade deadline's not over yet. The Nets are exploring some options. But Tyson, who do you think won this trade, just off your initial thoughts?
Currently, I'd say the Mavericks because you're obviously upgrading the guard spot, but the only thing affecting it is there's two ball dominant players. Like it may be hard, but I'm sure Kyrie has adapted to it after playing with Durant
And
and
LeBron.
LeBron. But also we've seen the Mavericks play with another guard, Jalen Brunson, who finally moved off. So it could be potential like that. But also, I feel like Mavericks could also be playing chess here. They just upgraded their guard position. They've got Kyrie. That's a pretty big asset as well. So if anything were to happen, they'd have him to work with, you know? So
Yeah,
I think
go on, Oscar.
I think that you're obviously two ball dominant players, but you've got two outstanding playmakers on your team now.
And
If I'm the
two
Mavericks,
below average defenders.
that is true. But the offense of that team is going to be crazy. It's going to be very fun to watch. So I think that I don't think they're a championship team yet. I think they're obviously a playoff team, but they need a few more pieces to be a championship team. But it's going to be fun to watch that team. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored.
Yeah, listen, Oscar, you're sort of prefacing what I'm about to say. And I think right now, I think Brooklyn's won this trade. For the simple fact that when I first saw this trade, I looked at this and I thought, are the Mavericks going to win a championship right now? And for me, the answer is a big hard no. They got to the conference finals last year without Kyrie Irving. They had Jalen Brunson as their two guard and they had Spencer Dinwiddie as well. So if they get to this year's playoffs and they get knocked out of the second round, what was the trade for to begin with? They're going to be looking like idiots. Like, I do not think this is a very good trade. I do not think Kyrie and Luka are compatible at all. And
Really?
I just don't see it. I really just don't see it. Look, you mentioned KD, you mentioned LeBron, and even when you take into account Boston, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those guys, I'd say LeBron is the point guard out of all of those guys, but those guys are all front court players. Doncic has the highest usage rate in the NBA by far. And I think that the only way I really
But
see
that's
it
because
work...
his team's garbage.
yeah.
He's obviously going to pass the guy scoring 50 points a night the ball. Like, now you've got Kyrie. He's going to take some pressure off Doncic. Doncic's assists are going to go up. I think it's a good trade for them. I think it really is. I think it shows that they're moving in the right direction. I don't think it's going to get them a championship. But the Nets were a championship team, and now they're not. They had two stars with good pieces around them, and now they don't. I think it's a great trade for the Mavericks. I think they fleeced the Nets.
Listen, I think that if they can add pieces, then it could be a great trade. But personally, I think if the Mavericks flame out in the playoffs, then Kyrie could leave. I don't think the Mavericks made this trade without some reassurance from Kyrie Irving that he would sign a long-term deal, which is why I don't think he is going to leave. But if there's one thing we know about Kyrie, he is the most unpredictable player in the NBA right now. What he thinks now, he might just say that just to get out of Brooklyn, okay? By the end of this season, he could be like, screw Mavericks, I want to go somewhere else. And there's nothing the Mavericks can do about it. So I don't think that they are compatible. And I just don't see it. I think defensively, they're going to come unstuck late in games. I don't think either of them are particularly good defenders. Kyrie, in moments, he can be, but that's very 50-50. And I just don't think that this is going to get the Mavericks over the hump. I think that they would be much better off if the Mavericks, they need someone that they can dump the ball down to in late game situations. Because what happens is, in late game situations, they double Doncic and they make people make threes. Now, the one thing that where it could help them is, will they double team Doncic if Kyrie is also on the court? And that is the big thing, because both of these guys...
He's the clutchest player in the league.
Both of these guys are clutch players. But I personally just don't think that they really got enough in this trade to win a championship, and I just don't think it's going to work.
If I'm the Mavericks, you've got to take risks, and they took a massive risk on Kyrie. On paper, it's a good trade, but we don't know where this guy's head's at. I think he's going to love the tax rules in Texas, and he's going to stay there, and he's going to have a lot of money, and he's going to have a lot of fans, and he's going to stay there for the future. I think he'll be okay.
Look, I just don't think a ball-dominant backcourt duo is going to win a championship. And honestly, I can't think of the last time, really, except for the Warriors, that won a championship with a dominant backcourt duo. And they only won what they won last year, and then they had the two with Durant, and then they had the one where LeBron and the Cavs were completely decimated. So until you can find me another team that won with a dominant backcourt, I think that Kyrie and Luka is not as good as Klay and Steph. Personally, if I had to give you a number on how many players that are currently guards, like top 20 guards in the NBA right now, who I think could win a championship with Luka Doncic, that number would be a big fat 0. Because I don't think another top 20 guard can win a championship with Doncic right now. Maybe Steph Curry. Maybe.
Curry on that team.
Maybe. But I think they still have the same problems. I think the Mavericks, they need a big man who can bail them out in late game situations, okay? Because they are running all over the court because they know that the Mavericks offense in late games is Doncic drives and he kicks it out and gets 3-pointers. If they had a big man who can take a dribble and go get you a bucket, that would solve the Mavericks' problems a lot more than just having Kyrie out on the perimeter. Because realistically, what's going to happen is Doncic is going to dribble the ball and he's going to kick it out, or he's just going to pass it to Kyrie, who's going to dribble the ball and shoot a shot or kick it out. I don't think the problems they have in late games is really going to change.
Why? I don't understand why that's an issue. I know it's really hard to compare these teams because one team's a lot better, but the Warriors didn't have a big man. They played the 3-ball. They played it very well. They played kick out to the 3 every single time, and both these players can hit big shots and can hit threes. So I don't know why that's an issue. They need a decent big man, but they got Christian Wood.
You can't compare the Warriors to the Mavericks.
I know, but the system works.
Who's the Draymond? Who is the Draymond on that team? They don't have a Draymond.
I know, but they've got Christian Wood who can set a good screen. They got Christian Wood who can set a good screen, who can get forward. But I don't think they need too much more. I think they need a good defensive player. Still, I think they're missing that piece. But I don't think it's as bad as you're saying. I think the three game works. The 3-ball game really works.
Tyson, what are your thoughts on this? How do you think it's going to play out?
Look, honestly, I can't really. There's so many different scenarios I can just picture in my head. Like an insane duo we've never seen before, both gone 30 a night, or just it could be maybe arguments on the court. Maybe Kyrie saying, "Give me the ball" or something. Like I don't know. It's really 50-50. I guess we have to wait and see against their win against the Clippers. So
yeah, look. So they're going to beat the Clippers.
Yeah, I like that.
The Clippers quite honestly have the Mavericks number, even though Doncic just drops however many he wants, but that falls right into the Clippers' hands. If I'm the Mavericks, I don't want to be seeing the Clippers in the playoffs. They haven't won a goddamn series against the Clippers in the playoffs. They've knocked them out twice. So I wouldn't want to be seeing the Clippers.
Well, I mean, Clippers aren't really a good playoff team.
That's a 5-4 matchup right now. I'm taking the Clippers any day, Kyrie or not.
But we know what the Clippers likes in the playoffs.
I will never.
Finals, but not in the first round.
You will never see me take the Clippers over any team.
Look, that's going to be your loss. But look, the Clippers are going to upgrade in the trade deadline, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I think you guys just got to sit tight.
Who are they trading?
Well, look, we'll get into that later in the show. But I have
Durant.
Nah, look, listen.
Yeah, Durant.
LA fans, man, I can't.
Listen, we are going to switch gears. Sticking with the Nets, we are going to talk about that man, Kevin Durant, Tyson. What is going to happen with his future? Who knows? Durant requested a trade last offseason and was not accommodated to by the Nets. He is under contract until the end of 2025-2026 season. 4 years, $198 million deal. Reportedly coming out today from Woj, Durant has talked about the Nets regarding the future of the organization and the direction in which they are going in. he is expected to not be traded at Thursday's trade deadline. However, I am not convinced that he will not be traded at the end of this off-season. Early reports are the Celtics and the Suns are the two biggest favorites to land him. One, I want to know from you guys, should Durant want to leave the Nets? And what team would you want to see KD go to? Oscar, I'll start with you.
I hope. Oh, just wait. I hope he goes to the Bulls. I hope we conjure up a little trade for him with Levine, and he comes to the Bulls. I think it'll be a good fit on our team. Personally.
Yeah.
Personal choice.
Yeah, you don't see any scenario in which Durant should want to stay with the Nets at all. You think he's going to leave and get traded somewhere?
I think he's looking for he's going to look for a trade again. I don't see him staying there unless they can pick someone up in free agency that Durant really likes and he really likes the direction that they're heading in free agency. But Kyrie and them, they were best mates. They were chatting each other. There's so many videos of them of hyping each other up, and they were good mates. And there's never really arguments between them. And KD sat through a whole live stream with Kyrie, babbling about some bullshit. And so I think unless KD really likes something that the Nets are doing, I think he's going to ask for a trade, and I hope that's to my Bulls.
Yep. Tyson, your thoughts? Do you disagree or agree with Oscar? What do you think Durant would be like on the Bulls?
I don't know about Bulls. I like the Suns, to be honest. I like a good.
I don't.
He ain't going to Phoenix.
I don't like the Suns.
He ain't going to Phoenix.
I like the Suns. I reckon he's going to come back on the West Side. He's gonna suss. Maybe even maybe downtown LA. You never know.
Durant wants a big market. He wants a big market
team. The Clippers he could be in downtown LA, but definitely not the Lakers. What are you
going to
trade Russell Westbrook?
He ain't going to the Clippers.
I don't think he's going to the Clippers, but I'm saying
okay.
He's going to go to the Clippers and the Lakers. We have a much better package than the Lakers could ever think of offering.
Yeah, the Lakers got no one.
That's what I mean. Tyson, do you think Durant
should... they traded Rui?
That's what I mean. Tyson, do you think Durant should stay at the Nets, even if they can, there's talks about them potentially getting a Pascal Siakam at the trade deadline?
Ooh, I like
do you think that could entice him to stay at the Nets more?
Probably not, no.
No? Well,
No.
Listen, look, I mean, he could go to the Bulls, but they'll still be a second-round exit. They're not going to go anywhere. He could go to the Suns, and there might be a conference finals appearance. Listen, I want to see. Look, I think personally.
Oh, this is going to be the stupidest statement.
Should leave the Nets. Okay, obviously, Clippers shouldn't get him. I don't think they're going to trade for him. Even though I think a package centered around Paul George would be a great package, because I would do that if I was the Clippers GM. I'd trade Paul George for Kevin Durant any day of the week. But
I remember when you got Paul George.
If I am the Portland Trailblazers, I am moving heaven and earth to get Durant. I am moving everything. Anthony Simons is a great young guard. Jeremy Grant is a versatile defender, and they have a fair few draft picks that they can unload. If I'm Portland, I don't care what it takes. I make a 4-team, a 5-team, a 6-team trade, goddammit. If I'm Portland, I am trading for Kevin Durant at all costs. Dame, KD would be a great duo. Dame is the ultimate team player. He doesn't have any of this nonsense that Kyrie Irving brings to the table or the nonsense Russell Westbrook brings to the table. Dame, ultimate team player. Great guy. That would be their best chance to win a championship, because once Dame's gone, they're going to be in real rebuilding mode. And I think Dame, for a franchise like Portland, to not only find a player as good as Dame, but to actually keep him throughout his career, because most people would want to leave Portland after being there for that long with only one conference finals appearance. So to find someone like that for that franchise, the biggest thing they can do is get him a player like Kevin Durant. And I don't care if they don't, if they go to the finals, at least they can say that they tried, because this is going to be their best chance to win a championship, probably since the 90s when they had Clyde Drexler and ended up getting to the finals. If I'm Portland, I'm moving everything to get Kevin Durant. I don't care what it takes.
That's not going to happen, Luka.
Why?
Kevin Durant,
Why?
because he's got a taste of these big market teams. He's got a taste of playing in these beautiful
No.
stadiums, and then he's going over to Portland.
Brooklyn, that's
He's
not a
going.
big market. They have the
Yes,
second.
they're across the road from New
the
York.
NBA.
They're across
So?
the road from New York. They get
So
numbers.
what?
They've got Jay-Z sitting in the bloody stands. He's gonna make his way over to Portland. No way. Katie's.
Irving can convince Katie to go to Brooklyn. Dame can convince him to go to Portland.
I don't think it's that simple. It's going to Brooklyn and then it's going to Portland. It's. I think him and Dame would be a great duo. I just don't think he wants to live in Portland.
Tyson, your thoughts? You tried to pry this information out of him before the episode, and I wasn't going to tell you. So, what do you think about that? Katie to Portland.
Look, I would like to see it, but I just don't think it will happen. I reckon they're gonna move Dame somewhere. To be honest, Dame needs to get out of
And
Portland.
why?
Just
I'll
anywhere.
I'll cry.
I mean, unless they get someone like KD, but they're gonna have to give up a lot for that. You know,
So-
Portland might be the worst.
it's just gonna be an empty team.
for
Then.
agency.
It's just gonna be another Nets team with just two all-stars,
No,
depth.
wrong.
Portland are the
Completely
worst
wrong.
team in free agency. We haven't seen them do anything. We haven't seen Portland do anything since Dame got to the bloody team.
Look,
They won't get them. They suck.
look.
They suck. They need to get
No.
rid of their GM or something. They suck in free agency. They suck at trades. They
Listen,
haven't moved. They haven't moved
They're trying to build a
Dame's been on the
championship
team.
roster around Damian Lillard, but they can't do it with him alone, okay? Who's the next best player he's played with? CJ McCollum. And he got to a...
Exactly, because they can't get anyone else.
He got to a
they
conference
couldn't-
finals with CJ McCollum. What do you think he could do with Kevin Bleeping Durant?
It'd be a great. It's a great team. It's a great team on paper, but Portland as a team management sucks. They're not going to pick up Durant because they suck at picking up players. They can't do it. They've never done it. They
I had a
can't. They
chance to
can't pick up
draft
players.
Durant, so
Yeah, exactly. They suck. They suck in the draft. They suck in free agency and they suck at trades. They haven't done anything to the team. The team hasn't progressed. The team hasn't done anything since Dame's been on the team.
Going to
Nothing.
a conference finals isn't an easy thing to do, okay?
Yes, yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do. When was the last time
I
your
know,
Bulls
I know,
went to
the
a conference finals?
I know the
Oscar,
Clippers
okay?
find it. The Clippers find it very hard to make it to those. The
The
Clippers find it.
very much, okay?
The Clippers, but they find it hard. They've never been there before. Before that.
Listen, there's a number of reasons to why that happens, okay? And we
It's going to be
can't
another
get into
50
all
years
that
for the
right
Clippers
now.
to make it.
Durant should go to Portland if he wants
It'd be
to.
a great team
It
on
would
paper.
be-
I'd love to see it. I'd
Listen,
love to see it, but it's not going to happen
the
because
ability
Portland
to at
sucks.
least try to make some moves. Okay, they unloaded CJ McCollum. They got some picks. Okay, they unloaded for Jeremy Grant. Okay, he's a good trade asset. Anthony Simons. Okay, Anthony Simons and Cam Thomas would be a great backcourt for a rebuilding team looking to get a high draft pick. Okay, I think it makes sense for Brooklyn. That's one of the better players they could get in a trade package.
If Brooklyn comes, if the management is knocking on Durant's door, knock, Durant opens the door and saying, we're thinking of trading you to Portland, he will slam the door in their face. He
No, he
doesn't want to go
won't.
to Portland. I just don't think the trade won't happen. I don't think Portland can do it. I don't think Durant will really want it. He doesn't want to go to Portland.
Well,
just don't
Kyrie
think it'll
wanted to go
happen.
to LA, and he didn't end up getting there. So I think Brooklyn would probably want to ship Kevin Durant to somewhere he doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
Look,
Brooklyn. Even if they do, he's going to leave. I don't think Portland will make the trade happen because they suck, and I don't think Durant wants to go there.
listen, they only need
It's a
Kevin
small
Durant.
market.
They only need Kevin Durant for 3-4 years, and that's how long he'd be contracted for. Because then Dame's going to start getting old legs, and it's not going to work. Look, we are going to have to move
And they're going to
on.
have no more pieces, and they're going
Exactly.
to not win a championship in those years.
Because you're not going to get a player like Damian Lillard once every 10 years. Damian Lillard for a franchise like Portland is a once-in-a-generation type of player. They need to go all in. They need to do whatever it takes. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here, okay? Katie to Portland. I'm going to bring up this video in a couple months' time when it happens, okay? And we're going to have a good old laugh about it. But we are going to finish with some general thoughts about the trade deadline, obviously finishing on Thursday. so many teams need to make adjustments, okay? I'm going to ask you first, Tyson. What team do you want to see make some sort of splash at the trade deadline to potentially help them win the title?
Well, I'm gonna say not to win, but I'm saying Raptors need to move their pieces. I reckon Pascal, Freddie, they're gonna go somewhere, which I'm keen to see. But the Heat, I reckon, will have to make a move for someone
Oh, big time.
because they're
Siakam.
we've seen what they're like.
That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
potentially,
Be an
Siakam.
interesting front court. Interesting, the key word. It could work.
Yeah.
Bulls will have to make a move for sure. I think Zaki wants
Big
out,
time.
so yeah, probably those three. Probably
Okay.
those three.
Oscar, what do you think, especially about more of a Zach LaVine scenario?
Yeah, I think Zach. I love the guy, but he wants to go. He's got to go. I think right now we can get the most out of Zach we've ever had. So he's playing his best basketball. He's an elite scorer in the league, one of the best scorers in the league. I think we've got to get some good pieces that are going to progress us. Hopefully, progress us, and hopefully they don't make a stupid trade that's going to put us out of the playoffs more than we already are. So I think that a big trade for the Bulls is going to happen. It's bound to happen, and I hope they're building up something big around. And I hope it's not just for Russell Westbrook and 2 first rounders. So that seems like the direction that they're heading. But I hope it's for someone a bit better, someone bigger name. So
Yeah, listen,
I
I hate
hope-
to break it to you, the Bulls are absolutely screwed, and I don't think there's anything you guys are really going to
if
do.
they trade for Russell, that's
No,
that's
you
ridiculous.
guys pretty much went all really, like, you traded for Vucevic, you signed Demar, you got Zach LaVine as your good young player, you gave Alex Caruso a big contract. I don't think that at this point there's really much more that the Bulls can really do and weasel their way out of it. But, Tyson, I do want to get to your point. Miami Heat did trade Dwayne Dedmon away to the San Antonio Spurs, opening up a roster spot. So, I think there
Not
is
Dwayne.
I think there is potential for Miami to potentially trade for someone. I don't know who it could be. All I know is they better not trade Kyle Lowry to my Clippers because I do not want to see that. But I do think my Clippers need a point guard. That's what I do think. I don't know if
Hey,
Paul
Kyle
George
Lowry.
is going to be my point guard on the
Kyle Lowry.
championship team.
Kyle Lowry.
I don't know. I don't
Lowry.
I don't
He's
know.
coming.
Listen, the only
What about Fred VanVleet?
look, it'd be
Those
basically
are the kind of they're kind of the two on offer.
it'd be like the Los Angeles Raptors if we get Fred VanVleet. We'll have VanVleet, we'll have Kawhi and Norman Powell on that team. That was
Hey, they won a chip.
They did win a chip. I don't know. Fred VanVleet could work. I just think he is a bit of a liability defensively. But you see they are closing games with Reggie Jackson right now, who isn't really the best defender himself. So it could work. The only thing is the Raptors seem to be asking for some heavy prices in exchange for their players. It was reported that they wanted to trade OG Anunoby at a minimum
And the
cost
Clippers
of
have no
three.
assets.
At the minimum cost of 3 first-round
Yeah.
picks.
I saw
So that is not true. The Clippers
What?
have plenty of assets,
Yeah.
okay? The Clippers have plenty of assets. We can go get someone if we want to get one. Maybe not in the form
T-Man.
of draft capital, but, we got T-Man. I saw T-Man when I was in New York for dinner one night, and I nearly went up and spoke to him, but I didn't want to disrupt the man during his dinner, so, I nearly did, but I don't want to see him go. I love T-Man. Like,
Who else are you going to give up?
I think Luke Kennard has some trade value. He does. And, Luke Kennard has some trade value. We have some other young players. Brandon Boston Jr.
You know
is
who'd
not
be a
bad
good
player.
guard?
Marcus Morris is an enforcer type of player.
For
You
the
can
Clippers?
who's a good guard, Tyson?
That Shea Gilgeous Alexander guy. He's pretty good. He's pretty good, not gonna lie. He's quite a good guard.
I still can't believe that. I still can't believe that. That's
Listen,
so funny.
He'd look good in a Clippers jersey.
Listen,
He'd
You
look
know
good in a
what?
Clippers
You know
jersey.
what?
He's
he's a good player.
Because we are most
He's a good
certainly in
player.
overtime. He's a great player. But you know what? I stand by the Clippers manager making that trade, okay? I stand by it.
He'd look
Look,
good in a Clippers jersey.
ladies and
He
gentlemen,
did.
thank you for tuning in to episode 19 of Priceless Takes. Oscar and Tyson, I will hopefully see you guys sometime next week. We will be having an NFL episode on Friday, previewing the Super Bowl. I will have Gabe back with me for that one. Not Gabe, the one you guys know. My other guest, Gabe, my football guy.
I was about to say, Gabe knows nothing about it.
So hopefully I will be back.
He barely knows anything about basketball.
Hopefully I'll be back with Oscar and Tyson the Friday after. We will have some more NBA fun. But guys, thank you very much for joining me today. We will see how LeBron pans out tonight. It's about an hour and 40 minutes away from tip-off. We shall see. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure again to keep following us on social media. Appreciate the follower engagement. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you all for being with here. I am Luka Price, your host. Thank you.